If you are new here and you're just now clicking on the Buddy's Big Screen channel for the first time, I just want to say, hey, thanks. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of videos out there, and the fact that you chose mine, that means something. That means something to me.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
We're talking about Dune Part 2 today, okay? I don't think I'm going to go into a lot of the narrative spoilers. I kind of just want to talk about like my overall general thoughts on this, and I think Annie's going to join me for a lot of this, so make sure to keep an eye on her for me, okay? No, she's just playing with a hair tie, and I don't have hair, so it comes from someone else that's not me. Ever since I got out of the theater, I had the absolute pleasure of watching Dune Part 2 on the big screen for the first time. My jaw dropped like 4 to 5 times. I stood up. By the way, just want to say, it was in like one of those pre-showings on Thursday before like even the big 7 o'clock showing, because that's when most people in my town like go to the movies, is that Thursday at 7. So this is like Thursday at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock. No one is in this theater except my partner and my roommate. That's it. And I have never had a movie make me stand up 3 times in the theater. Like, I had a physical reaction to the story and the narrative being played out in this movie. It's a cautionary tale. It's probably one of the best cautionary tales ever put to screen. I think Denny Boy did a great job directing this movie. I think the direction is fantastic, and especially going from part 1 to part 2, you'd think maybe the longer runtime, the tone change, because part 2 is a lot more funny than part 1. There's a lot more humor in here. And I think it blends really well, because obviously this narrative and story has a lot to do with like religious radicalism. There are aspects of like man-made prophecies that become self-fulfilling prophecies. There's a lot of conversations about destiny and visions and dreams, nightmares, timelines, a million and one different things, you know, but it all kind of revolves around our boy Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Atreides, Timothée Chalamet. In the first movie, I thought he was good, but I feel like part 2 is really what brings it home to why he was casted as Paul Atreides, because he absolutely nails every single line. It's a long movie, so there's a lot of character change over the runtime, and I think Timothée Chalamet does a great job at bringing that to life. And that goes with the same for the supporting cast too, like Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Florence Pugh, Christopher Walken. Like there's like a million and one different people, like Austin Butler, Stellan Skarsgård. Like they're all really, really good in the movie. Like they are all fantastic. Everyone's delivering a great performance in this movie. The direction, the cinematography, you know, your lighting, your sound, your set design, everything here is top tier, and that's why you get $190 million budget. It's doubled its money, and it's already made its budget back, but without marketing included. But that's pretty good. That we're talking money, we're talking critic reception, we're looking pretty good, because I think critics are loving this movie, and so are audiences. You can't spend more than 30 to 90 seconds on Twitter without finding some Stilgar meme. And I'm a proud owner of creating one of those memes. It is so funny because it's just seeing audiences resonate with a story and just absolutely be enthralled by a world like this. It means something, right? I could go all live long day about the lore, the story, and I think honestly, if you're not a fan of this, or you're watching this video and you haven't seen Dune, which, why are you here? Why are you this far into a Buddy's Big Screen video if you haven't seen Dune at all? Or like you don't have any interest in it. But let's say you don't. Let's say you don't care and you're just here for my bald head. Thank you. Thank you. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice by not going to see like Dune Part 2 in theaters. I think it's truly a once in a lifetime movie. Right now, recency bias is probably coming into play. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. The Prestige is my second favorite movie now. I don't know. Like, I feel like this is the peak of cinema for me right now, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's just showing how talented these people are. You know, I think Denny's doing a great job directing. I think Greg Fraser does a great job when it comes to cinematography. I mean, you're not going to get anything less than the best from Greg Fraser. I mean, everything that I've seen him do, he brings stuff to life. The visuals are great. The visual effects are great. The practical stuff, the CGI. I mean, everything is just so well done. I mean, Homelander has the meme where it's like,
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
that's how I feel with Dune Part 2. Everything feels like it was made with love and passion, and that's what I've been missing in filmmaking. And we've gotten a couple great movies that felt this way last year, but this feels like the best movie of 2024 just released, and nothing else is going to compare to Dune Part 2. It's addicting. It is very, very intoxicating watching Dune Part 2, because you will just get drawn in and you're not going to want to turn away. Green, you want more story after the credits roll. You're satisfied from what you get, but you are yearning for more. You're yearning for the sand on Arrakis. Like you want to be riding the sandworm. You want to do these things. And I think that's so brilliant. I think it's a brilliant movie. But at the same time, like I said, it's a cautionary tale. And with a bunch of people online, you know, loving this movie, I see some absolutely outrageous takes. Without spoiling much, if by the end of this movie, you're rooting for a certain character to go, I don't know, welcome people to paradise, the movie has tricked you, I think, because I talk about a lot of the themes of radicalism, pushing someone to the limit, pushing someone into a forced destiny or a man-made prophecy becoming a self-fulfilling one. I think that's such an interesting concept. And in the moment, of course, I'm just loving the film. But when you take a step back and look at like the story actually being presented to you, you probably shouldn't be rooting for probably anyone. Probably not, I would say. I don't know. It's a lot of complicated things, but I've just seen some absolutely outrageous takes on Twitter, which what else do you expect on Twitter? But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Rebecca Ferguson, I'm talking to you personally. Let me get a little professional here. Let me just sit like this. Hey, Rebecca Ferguson, whoever yelled at you on set on one of your movies, call me. I just want to have a talk with them.
The moment. And this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable that I got screamed at. But because this person was number one on a call sheet, there was no safety net for me. So no one had my back. And I would cry walking off set. This person would literally look at me in front of the whole crew and say, you call yourself an actor, this is what I have to work with. What is this? And I stood there just breaking. This happens. And I remember the next day I walked on and I said, you get off my set. This is the first time I've ever spoken. I remember being so scared. Yes. And I looked at this person and I said, you can F off. I'm going to work towards a tennis ball. I never want to see you again.
Okay? Because you're a treasure. Rebecca Ferguson, you are an absolute treasure. And when you play Lady Jessica, it's a great performance. Everything I see you in, Rebecca Ferguson, you absolutely are a major slay. Okay? You're always serving. And in those interviews, you're always serving, okay? One of the best, Rebecca Ferguson. Rebecca Ferguson is an absolute slay. For real, whoever is the one doing these heinous things by yelling and being a weirdo on set, like, that's not cool. That's not cool. None of that stuff is great. But I just saw that while the Dune interviews were going on, I saw that interview with Rebecca Ferguson talking about that, and it's like, how dare you? I just can't believe some people are so disrespectful and just unprofessional. So I just wanted to put a little side note in there, because I am talking about Dune Part 2, and Rebecca Ferguson is a huge part of Dune Part 2. The tonal change was really good for Part 2. The action scenes were a big step up. So I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about, because I think it's the greatest movie of all time. It's so good. I have to make all of my friends watch it that haven't seen it. I've been telling everybody at work to go see it. I'm going to go tell everybody at school to go see it. I'm probably going to go talk to a random person on the street and tell them to go see it, because it is truly a once-in-a-lifetime movie. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I don't really have much more to say. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. Are we good? Annie? Are we good?